In Umoja, a village caught between the living and the dead, fear walks with the sunset. Every night, the villagers write the same desperate plea outside their homes. O Nyoka, come tomorrow, for if they forget, men vanish, leaving only their clothes behind. But one man refused to believe, and that changed everything. Kofi, the village's most skilled craftsman, was practical to a fault. To him, Nyoka was just a story, a tale spun by elders to keep children indoors after dark. His friend Amma tried to warn him. Kofi, you forgot to write it. The words, O Nyoka, come tomorrow. Your door is bare. Kofi, laughing, do you really think a few words can stop a spirit? I don't believe in bedtime stories, Amma, but in Umoja, belief wasn't optional. That night, Kofi left his workshop, the words unwritten, and set into motion a chain of events no one could stop. The sun was set, the sound of wind rising. Kofi walks with a lantern, his shadow stretching behind him. Suddenly, a figure appears in the distance, a woman wrapped in a vibrant cloth. She appeared out of nowhere, a mysterious woman whose presence seemed to make the air itself grow heavy. Her voice was soft, almost a whisper, but it carried an undeniable authority. But then he saw her, a woman standing in the shadows, her form faint yet unmistakable. She stepped closer, her eyes piercing in the dim light. Her voice was soft, almost a whisper. Kofi, she said, your work is known far and wide. Will you craft something for me? Kofi froze. He had never seen this woman before, yet she spoke his name as if she'd always known it. Who are you? He asked. But the woman didn't answer. She only smiled and said, not tonight, tomorrow perhaps. And then, she was gone, leaving behind only the scent of wildflowers. The next day, the village awoke to terror. Another man had vanished. His clothes were found in the street, but he was gone. The whispers spread quickly. Nyoka had taken him. But then someone asked the question everyone feared to answer. Why hadn't she taken Kofi? After all, he hadn't written the words either. Amma confronted Kofi, her voice trembling. Why are you still here? She asked. You defied her. Why didn't she take you? Kofi couldn't explain it. But deep down, he remembered the woman's parting words. Tomorrow perhaps. Was she waiting for him? Seeking answers, Kofi and Amma went to Baba Kweku, the keeper of Umoja's oldest stories. The elder listened quietly as they told him what had happened. When they finished, Baba Kweku sighed. Nyoka was no ordinary spirit, he said. She was a healer, betrayed by the people she saved. They accused her of witchcraft and left her to die in the forest. Now, she returns every year to take those who deny her justice. Amma's voice breaks the silence. But why didn't she take Kofi? Baba Kweku's gaze turned to Kofi, heavy with meaning. Because she doesn't want vengeance from you, Kofi. She wants something else. She's waiting for you to do what others could not, to remember her. That night, Kofi decided to honor Nyoka in the only way he knew how, with his craft. Under the sacred baobab tree, he carved a figure of her, each stroke of his chisel a silent apology. As he finished, the air grew still. And then she appeared. Nyoka's presence was overwhelming, her voice calm but filled with power. You have remembered me, she said. But will you tell the truth? Baba Kweku steps forward, his voice trembling. Baba Kweku spoke then, his words heavy with guilt. The truth is, it wasn't just the men who betrayed you. The whole village allowed it to happen. Nyoka's form flickered, her gaze sharp. You still hide behind half-truths, she said. If my story is not told as it was, I will never rest. Kofi steps forward, his voice steady despite the fear in his eyes. Kofi, who had once dismissed her as a myth, now met her gaze without flinching. Nyoka, he said, your story will be told truthfully. Not to hide our shame, but to honor you. Your name will live on, not as a curse, but as a memory of justice. Nyoka's expression softened. Her form began to fade, her glow dimming until only the scent of wildflowers remained. For the first time in generations, Umoja felt peace. From that day on, Umoja remembered Nyoka, not as a vengeful spirit, but as a symbol of justice. Her story became part of the village, told not in fear, but with respect. And here's the part that will make you shiver. Many believe the story isn't just a tale. They say Nyoka was real. Her story, her vengeance, her justice, it all happened long ago, in a place not unlike Umoja. So, I ask you, if you were in Umoja, would you have written the words? Or would you have faced the spirit of the forgotten? Because one thing is certain, the spirits never forget. Thanks for watching. Kindly like this video, subscribe the channel and press that bell icon to get notified.